My parents chose my brother's award over visiting me after a car crash. Now they want my savings to bail him out of a fraud scandal. I refused. The rain poured relentlessly as I sat in my hospital bed staring at the ceiling, replaying the accident in my mind. My car had hydroplaned on a slick stretch of highway, slamming into the guardrail. I was lucky to be alive, though with a fractured leg, a couple of broken ribs, and a bruised spirit. The first people I called weren't my friends or my colleagues. They were my parents. Surely they'd drop everything to come and see me, I thought. When Mom answered, her voice was laced with excitement. "Not worry. Be sweet," he said when I told her what happened. "We're so sorry to hear that. But listen, your brother's award ceremony is tomorrow. It's his big day. We've been planning this for months. We'll come by as soon as we're back." That was the first gut punch. I hung up the phone, tears welling up. They chose his award over my accident. It wasn't the first time my brother Jason had been the golden child. He was the star quarterback in high school, the valedictorian, the one whose achievements adorned every inch of our family's mantle. Meanwhile, my academic awards, my job promotions, and even my personal milestones barely earned a passing comment. It wasn't jealousy. It was exhaustion. I'd worked tirelessly to earn their approval, but nothing ever measured up to Jason's grandeur. When I got into NYU on a scholarship, they shrugged and said, "Good for you." When Jason got into a state college with mediocre grades, they threw him a party. Fast forward to last week, a year after my accident. I was at my desk in Chicago, flipping through spreadsheets when my phone buzzed. It was Mom. "Hey, Mom," I said cautiously, knowing calls from her usually came with strings attached. Her voice was trembling. "It's Jason. He's in trouble." Apparently, Jason had been caught running a fraudulent investment scheme. A Ponzi scheme, to be exact. He owed nearly $200,000 and was facing criminal charges. "What does that have to do with me?" I asked, already dreading her answer. "The only principle I had." "Well," she hesitated, "we were hoping you could help. You've been doing so well with your job, and you've always been good with money. If you could lend him some, just to get him out of this mess." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. They wanted me to drain my savings, the money I'd painstakingly set aside for a down payment on my first home, to save Jason from his own reckless decisions. In a blink, for the first time in my life, I said no. "Mom," I said firmly, "I love you, but I won't bail him out. He's an adult, and he needs to face the consequences of his actions." She relaxed and screamed. There was a long pause. Then came the guilt trip. "But he's your brother. Families are supposed to stick together." I felt the old anger bubbling up. Families are also supposed to show up for each other. Where were you when I was in the hospital, Mom? Do you remember that? You chose Jason's award over me, and now you expect me to sacrifice my future for him? The silence on the other end was deafening. Word got out quickly. Relatives started calling, some siding with me, others accusing me of being heartless. My parents stopped speaking to me, though they didn't hesitate to send passive-aggressive texts about family loyalty. As for Jason, he didn't apologize or even try to explain himself. He sent me a single message. "Thanks for nothing." But whatever. But you know what? I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. For the first time, I put myself first. I wasn't the safety net for their bad choices or their blatant favoritism. It's been 6 months. Jason took a plea deal and is serving time. My parents still aren't speaking to me, but I've started therapy to process years of neglect and favoritism. I also closed on my first home last month, a cozy condo overlooking Lake Michigan. Sometimes, standing up for yourself means letting go of the people who refuse to see your worth. It's painful, but it's liberating. If I've learned anything, it's this. You can love your family and still choose yourself. And for the first time in my life, I'm finally doing just that.